We are going to create a new invitation group for SigmaPiSigma through MyHonorSociety. The URL is sigmapisigma.myhonorsociety.com. Here at the login screen I will enter my email address. I am the chapter advisor, so the chapter advisor would enter their email address and their password. If you don't know your password, or if you have forgotten your password, you can click the Forgot Password button. You will be sent an email that has a temporary password. Once you have entered a password, we'll click Log In. Here you're taken to the chapter dashboard. You should see your institution name at the top, and previous invitation groups are listed here. The virtual induction manual, the green folder, can be found here under Sponsor User Manual. This has information on how to get around My Honor Society, as well as other information that pertains to SigmaPiSigma inductions. Over here on the right hand side we see New Invitation Group. Let's create a new invitation group. Here we'll name the new invitation group. I'm going to name this Test Group because it's not an actual group. Next, I will select the induction date and the group closing date. Note here there's a notice that is in very small font. Your closing date must be at least 7 days before the induction date. But if your closing date is not at least 14 days before your induction date, you will receive an additional express processing fee. So this allows the national office time to print your certificates and get everything mailed to your chapter in time for your induction. And if you plan your closing date with less than 14 days before your induction date, then there will have to be a rush on the shipping and the processing. So here, let's set an induction date. I'm going to set my induction date for January 29th. That means that I would need to have my closing date at least 2 weeks prior to that. I could set it on the 15th. I'm going to set it on the 14th because I know that my students need a little push. Beyond those dates, you will see that there is a waiver payment method. There is only one option here for credit card. You have the ability to set a waiver for individual inductees or individual invitees by selecting a waiver for that person. You can waive everyone, or you can only waive select students if you have students who need financial assistance in order to accept this invitation. If you do select waiver, then your student will not be charged upon accepting their invitation, but you will be sent an invoice when the group closes. If you do not select a waiver for students, they will be asked to pay as they accept their invitation. Here we will put the invitation text. You can type your own, or you can select a template from the right hand side. There's a template for invitation letter, and it looks like this. Everywhere in the template that you see curly braces, these variables will be auto-filled. So you do not have to type anything here. It will be auto-filled from your list. However, there are some places in the letter where you have square braces. Here at the bottom, faculty name and school name. So in these places, you will want to fill in the information for yourself and your institution. Just go ahead and delete this and type in your own name. So this is the text that students will receive when they get the email for the invitation. These emails may be caught in a spam filter, so it is helpful to notify your students ahead of time to expect an email from My Honor Society with their SigmaPiSigma induction. Once the students have accepted their invitation, they will get the welcome message that you put in this box. There is also a template for a welcome message. Again, everywhere that has curly braces, it will automatically fill in. Anywhere that there are square braces, for example here where it says room and building, you will need to add that text to this letter. You may also choose to do a virtual induction, in which case you'll want to change this paragraph which talks about the room and building and put in the relevant information. You can include information like a Zoom link or a Google Chat, or whatever platform your chapter is using to hold their induction. Again, at the bottom you will need to fill in the faculty name and the school name. Once these are complete, you can click Create Invitation Group. You are taken to this screen here, and you can verify the information that you have put in. The name of the group, the closing date, the induction date. You can change who the email appears from if you would like. It automatically comes up from SigmaPiSigma. You see the invitation and the welcome message that were selected. In the tabs across the top, you will have the opportunity to add invitees. So here we have that second tab, invitee. And you will want to come over, you can either import from a file if you have a file where your invitees are prepared, or you can click on this add invitee, this very small text next to this little plus sign. So let's create an invitee. Let's create John Doe. Now I'm going to delete this when I'm finished, so we will not have this strange information here. So I have my name and email address. Notice that invited says no because the invitation was not sent yet. Accepted says no, so you're able to check and see if your student has accepted. And then if they choose to unsubscribe from these messages. Over here we have a few options. You can edit the invitee, the information that you entered. You can click this little dollar bill, and that is the waive fees. So if you are going to pay the fee for your student, then you will want to select this option, and that way they will have an email with a waived dues code inside of it. So notice that when I click that, a bypass code comes up. If I decide that no, I really don't want to waive that, I can click remove code. And I can delete an invitee if I have entered something incorrectly or if I was mistaken. So once I have all of my invitees filled in here, then I will click send invitations and it will automatically generate the invitations. So looking at my induction information on the first tab, it's going to send this letter and fill in the information. So here on invitees. When I click the Send Invitations, I will be given an option to preview exactly what my invitation looks like with the information filled in. Notice where I had curly braces, I now have a name and a date. Down here we see that this is the date that it closes. Notice that I did not fill in my faculty name or my school name previously, so these still appeared in square braces. Make sure that you fill those in. And then the student will have a button to accept invitation. At the very bottom it will say send invitation or cancel if you are unhappy with the way that your invitation looks. I'm going to hit cancel because I put in a fake email address. Once your invitations are sent, you do have the ability to send messages to your invited class, and you can send reminders as you approach the due date. So hopefully this will help you to set up your induction group in My Honor Society.